The OnePlus 9 is OnePlus's latest and greatest flagship phone series, and includes the standard OnePlus 9 and the upgraded OnePlus 9 Pro. Both phones offer among the best specs you can get in a high-end phone in 2021, and you would expect them to do so given the $730 starting price tag. But how does the OnePlus 8 compare to the OnePlus 9? When it was released, the OnePlus 8 was also one of the best phones you could buy. I reviewed the OnePlus 8 when it came out, and I've been using the OnePlus 9 for a while now. Of course, the OnePlus 9 is a better phone. It's newer, has a better processor, a better screen, and so on. But just how much better is it? And should you upgrade from the OnePlus 8 to the OnePlus 9? Here are my thoughts. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support my work, and I would appreciate that support. OnePlus has tweaked its design language a little over the past year, and that shows when you put the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 9 side by side. Notably, last year's OnePlus 8 has a curved display on the edges, while this year only the OnePlus 9 Pro has curved edges. And while the OnePlus 8 has a vertically aligned camera module in the center of the back, the OnePlus 9 adopts the rectangular camera bump that many other manufacturers have used over the past few years. Both phones have a USB-C port, volume rocker, and power button around the edges. They also both have a ringer switch, which I really appreciate having. Now, I get why OnePlus made the changes it did, and the OnePlus 9 definitely blends in a little more with other flagship phones in 2021. But the OnePlus 8 definitely looked a little more unique, especially in this mirror finish. I do prefer the flat display though. The displays on these devices are nice, but the OnePlus 9's display is a clear step up. Both phones offer a 1080p AMOLED display with support for standards like HDR10+. But while the OnePlus 8 has a 90Hz refresh rate, the OnePlus 9 steps that up to 120Hz. Now, the difference between 60Hz and 90Hz is definitely more noticeable than the difference between 90Hz and 120Hz, but it's still nice to get that ultra smooth 120Hz on the OnePlus 9. Both displays are beautifully smooth and very responsive, and I don't really mind the 1080p resolution. Under the displays, both phones have a fingerprint sensor, and both sensors have their advantages. The OnePlus 8's fingerprint sensor is in a much better spot. It's much easier to reach and use in day-to-day use. But once you get your finger to where the sensor is, you want to be using the OnePlus 9. The OnePlus 9's sensor is more accurate, faster, and just better all around. Of course, one of the bigger differences between the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 9 is their performance, but both perform very well. While the OnePlus 8 has last year's flagship chip, the Snapdragon 865, the OnePlus 9 swaps it out for the latest chip, the Snapdragon 888. Both phones offer either 8GB or 12GB of RAM. Thankfully, both devices perform excellently. Technically, the OnePlus 9 does perform a little better, thanks to the better processor, but they can both handle everything you can throw at them. Whether it be mobile gaming or heavy multitasking or just browsing social media, both the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 9 are up to the task. The difference in performance between these two phones will really come into play at the end of their lifespans, not right now at the beginning. Battery life is pretty good on these phones too. The OnePlus 8 has a 4300 mAh battery, while the OnePlus 9 steps that up to a 4500 mAh battery. Frankly, both of these phones have a good but not amazing battery life, and they should both get you through a full day of moderately heavy use, and even into a second day. In my battery test, which involves streaming YouTube videos over Wi-Fi at full brightness for 3 hours, the OnePlus 8 ended the test with 76%, while the OnePlus 9 ended with 75%. They're pretty much the same. An even bigger difference between these two phones lies in the camera. OnePlus has partnered with Hasselblad for the tuning of its camera on the OnePlus 9 series, but it's hard to tell what kind of a real difference that has made, considering the fact that the hardware on the OnePlus 9 is new too. Let's start with the specs. The OnePlus 8 has a triple camera system with one 48MP wide camera, one 16MP ultra-wide, and one 2MP macro. The OnePlus 9 gets a 50MP ultra-wide camera and a 2MP monochrome camera, instead of the macro camera on the OnePlus 8. So, is the OnePlus 9's camera the massive upgrade that some were hoping for? Well, not really. To be clear, the camera on the OnePlus 9 is pretty good. It doesn't reach the heights of the likes of the Galaxy S21 and the iPhone 12 Pro, but it's pretty good. The OnePlus 8 was already pretty good though. Again, not amazing, but good. Thankfully, the OnePlus 9 does at least represent a step up from the OnePlus 8's camera. Colors are a little more vibrant and details are a little clearer, so in day-to-day use, photos just turn out a bit better. That's especially true in night and low light photos, where the OnePlus 9 can actually capture something resembling detail, even if it's not as impressive as some of its competitors. In other words, it's clear that OnePlus is getting better at building high-end cameras, but it's not quite ready to compete with the big players in the phone industry just yet. The OnePlus 9 can, however, capture some pretty impressive video, though that's a bit more thanks to the a better processor. The phone is able to capture 8K video at 30 frames per second. That's a step up from the OnePlus 8, which maxed out at 4K 60 frames per second, but it matches the Galaxy S21. The OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 9 offer the same software experience, both offering OnePlus's Oxygen OS and both having Oxygen OS 11, which is built on Android 11. I actually quite like Oxygen OS. I love the stripped back experience you get from stock Android, and while Oxygen OS offers some visual tweaks that help make it stand out as unique, using the software is simple and clean. The difference between the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 9 is that OnePlus will likely support Oxygen OS on the OnePlus 9 for longer, just because it's a year newer. So if you care about getting timely software updates, the OnePlus 9 may offer what you're looking for. So if you're a OnePlus 8 user, should you upgrade to the OnePlus 9? Well, probably not. Sure, the screen is a little better, the performance is a little better, and the camera is a little better, but these differences are very minor and aren't going to make for a much better experience in general. Now, the conversation shifts a little if you're buying a new phone. At the time of writing the script for this video, the OnePlus 8 was still available from OnePlus's website, but that may have changed given the availability of the OnePlus 9. Frankly, if the OnePlus 8 is still available, it's probably an excellent value pick. The phone offers flagship level specs at a much lower price. If you do want the latest and greatest, then the OnePlus 9 is still a little cheaper than the average flagship phone. But otherwise, depending on your situation, it's likely worth saving your money. And if you really want the latest and greatest, it's probably worth going for the Galaxy S21 instead, considering the fact that it offers a better camera than either of these phones. You can buy both the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 9 using the links in the description. Thanks so much for watching this video, and again, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. My name is Christian, and I'll see you next time. See ya.